All right, welcome everybody to another edition of the Florida Physique Report. This is episode number 75. Today is Thursday, October 6th, 2016. I'm your host, John Hansen, and we are broadcasting live from the Powerhouse Gym in downtown Tampa, Florida. And on today's show, we have a very special guest. His name is Jared Bullock. He is a former Green Beret, and Jared was disabled during his service in Afghanistan. And he decided to compete in his very first men's physique contest. And he has a prosthetic on his right leg, and he is missing his right arm, but he competed anyways. And he took third place at last weekend's Daytona Beach Classic in the men's physique category in the open division in his class. So I think this is a remarkable story. Jared is obviously a man of great courage and determination, so I definitely wanted to talk to him and interview him since I wasn't at the show last weekend. So we got a great interview coming up with Jared Bullock coming up right after our break. On today's show, we are going to cover the results of that contest, the Daytona Beach Classic, which took place last weekend, October 1st, in Daytona Beach. In addition to that, we've also got the results of the Fort Lauderdale Cup, which took place, of course, in Fort Lauderdale, and that was held by Shannon Day, and that was also on October 1st, last weekend. And Mike Sansevero provided us with both the pictures and the results. So thanks to Mike Sansevero for that. And I want to thank Arno Nishan from ArnoPhotography.com for providing us with the pictures from the Daytona Beach Classic. As for this weekend, Florida is in the grips of the Hurricane Matthew, which is supposed to hit the east coast of Florida tonight. So they've gone through some massive evacuations in the state of Florida, especially all along the east coast, all the way from Miami all the way up to Jacksonville. So they had to cancel the Ultimate Grand Prix South Florida Championships, which was supposed to take place this weekend on October 8th. And that was going to be at the Broward County Convention Center in Fort Lauderdale, but Fort Lauderdale is being evacuated, so they had to cancel that show. They are still going forward with the Southeastern USA, which is Chris Eady's show. It was in Orlando, and they moved it to a new location, which is now the Rosin Center, but that will still be taking place on October 8th. They are moving the prejudging back till 3 p.m., and then the evening show is still planned to go at 6 p.m. Fred Biggie Smalls is going to be the guest poser. So as of the time of this broadcast, the Southeastern USA is still on, and that is still going to take place this weekend. So good for Chris Eady and the whole Central Florida District for banding together and putting that together in the wake of the hurricane, which I said is going to really hit tonight and all day tomorrow. So we'll see how bad the damage is. But it's supposed to go all the way up to Orlando as well. So hopefully they'll be able to pull that contest together and the damage won't be too bad. We'll see what happens. But I will be out there this weekend, October 8th, at the Southeastern USA that Chris Eady is promoting, and hopefully things will go well. All right, let's go over the results of the two shows that took place last weekend, which was the Daytona Beach Classic and the Fort Lauderdale Cup. Let's start with the Daytona Beach Classic. Mike Matassa and Tony Curtis put the show on. They did a really good job. They had IFBB Women's Physique Pro Champion Michaela Soto was the guest poser, along with IFBB Pro Bodybuilder Kevin Jordan, both from the Chicago area, from my hometown. So they both did a great job. Looked like a great contest. We'll start off with the novice men's bodybuilding. That was won by Andrew Oliver. He was in really good condition. And then going into the Masters men's bodybuilding, Jim Schaefer was the winner in the over 70 division. In the over 60 division, they had a lot of competitors. I think about 5 or 6 competitors. Alan Taylor was the winner, and Alan was in incredible condition, really ripped. Not a huge guy, but really great condition. And then Alan went on to win the over 50 division as well. And then in the over 40 division, they had 2 classes, a lightweight and a heavyweight. And Alan Taylor won the lightweight in the over 40. So Alan Taylor wins the over 40, the over 50, and the over 60. What an incredible bodybuilder. The heavyweight class went to Steve Feister, and then they had an overall for the over 40, and that went to, you guessed it, Alan Taylor. And then the Grand Masters bodybuilding went, of course, to Alan Taylor, since he was pretty much competing against himself, since he won all the divisions. So congratulations to Alan Taylor. I called him up and tried to have him on as a guest this week as a show, but of course, he is in the process of evacuating just like everybody else on the east coast of Florida. So maybe we can have Alan on the show next week. All right, moving on to the open men's bodybuilding. The bantamweight class went to Thomas Manning, The lightweight class went to Khalid Inshan, who is really in great shape, very ripped. And I have to mention Alan Taylor was in second place in that class. The middleweight class went to Robert Fuhrer. He looked really good. Light heavyweight class, Billy Blackwell, always a great physique. He's got good aesthetics, great vacuum pose, and Billy won the light heavyweight class. The heavyweight class went to Andrew Oliver, our novice bodybuilding winner. And the super heavyweight went to Nick Perkins. And in the overall, Andrew Oliver was the overall winner. So congratulations to him. Big winner in the bodybuilding. He won the novice and the open men's bodybuilding. In the classic physique division, the novice classic physique went to Giannini Amandoni, who I believe was competing in his very first contest. He's a friend of Ferlin Bailey. And then moving into the open classic physique, they had 3 classes. Class A went to William Jerome. Class B, again, Giannini Amandori. And Class C went to Clay Parker. And the overall winner was Giannini Amandoni. So congratulations to him. That was his first show. He did excellent. They had a women's physique division, novice and open. Both went to Andrea Davidson Cam. So congratulations to Andrea. She wins both the novice and open women's physique. The novice figure went to Sartoni Apollon. And then in the masters figure, the over 50 division went to Darlene Schumann. Over 40 went to Deborah Singletary. And the over 30 went to Sarah Yates. And then the overall masters figure was Sarah Yates. So congratulations to her. And the open figure, Class A went to Melanie Tutton. Class B, again, went to Sarah Yates. And Class C went to Darlene Schumann. And the overall winner, again, was Sarah Yates. So congratulations to Sarah. She wins both the masters and the open figure division. All right, moving on to the men's physique. Joshua Manoy was the winner in the teen men's physique, and he looked incredible for a teenager. And then in the novice men's physique, Joshua Manoy wins again. So a teenager wins the open novice physique. Going into the masters men's physique, the over 50 division went to Scott Chichon. The over 40 was in 2 classes. The short class went to Rick Kushner, and the tall class went to Arnold Calzovari. And Arnold Calzovari wins the overall over 40 division in the Masters men's physique. And then going into the open men's physique, Michael Watts was the winner in Class A. Joshua Manoy, the teenager, wins Class B. And Clifton Joseph, a frequent competitor in the Central Florida area, he wins Class C. And you're not going to believe this, but the overall men's physique open went to the teenager, Joshua Manoy. So what a night for him. He wins the novice, he wins the teenage, and he wins the open. He's got a great future ahead of him. And finally, they finished off with the bikini division. The teen bikini went to Emily Watts. The novice bikini went to Melanie Cosmelli. The masters bikini over 50 went to Lisa Dallaire. Over 40 went to Alicia Casella. And the over 30 went to Melissa Anderson. And I believe Melissa is the wife of David Anderson, who is a pro men's physique competitor. And Melissa Anderson wins the overall Masters bikini. Going into the open bikini, Melissa Anderson wins Class A. Ida Angelini wins Class B. And Melanie Cosmelli, who was the novice winner, she wins Class C. And the overall open bikini winner goes to Melissa Anderson. So congratulations to Melissa on that big win. So that was it. Looked like a great show out in Daytona Beach. Congratulations to Mike Matassa and Tony Curtis for putting on another great show. All right, let's go over the results real quick of the Fort Lauderdale Cup, which took place, as I said, October 1st in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Shannon Day was the promoter. They had 2 pro divisions, which was Pro Bikini and Pro Masters Bikini. In the Masters Bikini, Michelle Sylvia, Florida's own Michelle Sylvia, takes first place, so congratulations to her. She always looks fantastic. Michelle's got a great physique. The Pro Bikini Open went to Anita Herbert, another Florida competitor who is I think this was her first pro win, and she beat a big lineup. So congratulations to Anita. I remember her when she competed on the amateur level, and she was an outstanding bikini competitor. So good to see that she's now winning the pro division in the bikini. Janet Layug, another Florida resident who was a very top competitor, of course, in the pro bikini world. She takes second place. And Tatiana DeBeek, right here from Powerhouse Gym, Tatiana takes third place in this very tough lineup. So congratulations to all those ladies. All right, moving on to the NPC Fort Lauderdale Cup. They had a Masters men's bodybuilding. The over 50 went to Wade Lemmings, and the over 40 went to Joel Perrette. Joel's been competing quite frequently in the South Florida area. So Joel wins the over 40 and the overall Masters men's bodybuilding. So congratulations to Joel. All right, moving on to the open men's bodybuilding. Lightweight class went to Enrique Figueroa, who looked really outstanding. Short guy, but very thick, very dense muscle, and real ripped. So congratulations to him. The middleweight went to Wade Lemmings, the over 50 winner. The light heavyweight class went to Janelle Arcanasian, who I'm not familiar with, but he had a really good physique. And then Luis Morales wins the heavyweight class, and Luis also looked really good. But Janelle Encarnacion wins the overall in the open men's bodybuilding, so congratulations to him. The classic physique, they only had one class, and Gary Pudi was the winner. Gary took second in the men's bodybuilding lightweight class, but he's got a physique, I guess, that's more suited to classic, and he wins the classic physique open. The women's physique open went to Ella Sario. Moving into the figure division, the Masters figure over 50 went to Amanda Moran. The over 40 went to Rita Singh, and the over 30 went to Tiffany Stone. And then the overall Masters figure went to Tiffany Stone, so congratulations to her. The novice figure division went to April Doherty, and then the figure open in Class A, Tiffany Stone wins again, the Masters winner. And Victoria Anzalotti wins Class C, and the figure open overall goes to Victoria Anzalotti. So congratulations to her. She looked really great. And moving into the men's physique, the Masters division over 40 went to Steve Harrison, and the novice men's physique went to Sean Prince. And Sean also looked really good. He's got a really good look. And then the men's physique open, only two classes. The short class went to Jorge de la Pina, and the tall class went to Colin Robinson. And Colin, of course, has a great physique for men's physique. We've interviewed him here on the show on the Florida Physique Report. Young guy, but really great physique, and he looks like he's much improved. This, I think, was his best look ever. So Colin wins the tall class and the overall in the men's physique. Hopefully he'll go on to the Nationals next month in November, because he's definitely got a great look, and I think he'd do really well. In the bikini division, the Masters bikini over 40 went to Michelle Abrahamson, and the over 30 went to Angelica Wetzel, and Angelica looked excellent, and Angelica Wetzel wins the overall Masters bikini. Then the novice bikini, they also had some really good ladies in there. Class A went to Victoria Georges, Class B went to Jenny Spencer, and the overall novice bikini went to Victoria Georges. And then finally they finished off with the open bikini division. Victoria Georges again was the winner in Class A. Christina Murray was the winner in Class B. Marina Gatica, who's been doing really well this year, she wins Class C. And Andy Taylor, very tall, beautiful lady, she wins Class D. And then Andy Taylor wins the overall. So congratulations to all those winners. Two great shows over the weekend, last weekend, Daytona Beach Classic and the Fort Lauderdale Cup. All right, we're going to take a break to hear from our sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to be joined by Jared Bullock, a former Green Beret who is now competing in the men's open physique. Very interested in talking to Jared. He's got a great story to tell, a very courageous and determined young man. We'll be right back with the Florida Physique Report right after we hear from our sponsors. Divine Nutrition Products believes in supplying the consumer with the highest quality products available. Their natural isolate line of protein is comprised of whey protein isolate made from grass-fed protein, featuring brand new flavors like vanilla peanut butter and pound cake. Divine Nutrition Products is the preferred supplement of rising IFBB Pro Figure champion Sydney Gillen, winner of the 2016 Miami Beach Muscle Pro.
Hey, this is Sydney Gillen, IFBB Figure Pro champion. I love Divine Nutrition products, especially the pound cake as soon as I get that one. But my favorite right now is vanilla peanut butter. It's so delicious.
Visit us at divinenutritionproducts.com. All right, welcome back to the Florida Physique Report. My special guest this week is Jared Bullock, and Jared just competed last week at the Daytona Beach Classic in the men's physique. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you?
Good. So, Jared, I saw your pictures. I wasn't at the show, unfortunately. Usually I go to the shows every week, but I didn't make it to that one. And I was very impressed, with the courage you displayed to compete. I understand you were a former Green Beret, so I was wondering if you could just tell us a little bit about your service in the military and what happened and what made you decide to start competing in men's physique.
Okay. So I joined the Army in 2003.
Okay.
Started off as an infantryman, and then I did a couple deployments to Iraq. And then you always want to be better at your job.
Mm-hmm.
So I took the next step, and then I went and applied to go to selection to become a Green Beret. So I passed the selection, then basically it's another 1.5-year process to actually get awarded. So I finally graduated from the course in 2010 as a Green Beret, and then in the end of 2013, I was on patrol in Afghanistan with my team on an ATV, and I hit an IED. So it injured another teammate that was on the vehicle with me. Well, there's three of us on the ATV. It was more like a side-by-side, kind of like a John Deere Gator, but more cool, much cooler. My passenger, my friend died, and I lost my arm and my leg and had a couple other injuries. So, after that, I pretty much in the hospital just started kind of making goals for myself where I wanted to be. And then I think my first goal was to run a race within a year of my injury.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that within 10 months, and then I just kept running races. And then finally it just led to this, just to see what else I'm capable of. So my buddy was like, hey, let's do this. And I was like, all right. So I signed up, did it.
Take me back to when you were a Green Beret. What does it take to be a Green Beret? I don't know anything about that.
So the whole process takes about 1.5 years, 2 years if you're going to be the medic on the team, which is an 18 Delta. So you'll go to selection to start off with. That's a 3-week process.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I went, I think there was 400 guys, and I think maybe 50 of us actually made it to the end.
Yeah.
And then basically it's a whole another 1.5 years of where you learn patrolling, small unit tactics. You go through SEER school. You learn a language for whatever unit you're going to end up being assigned to at the end.
Okay.
At Spanish. And then you do, there's so much. Then you basically specialize in what your MOS is going to be. So like for me, it was communications on the team. Mm-hmm. So that's what I spent 4 months doing that on.
Okay.
It's just like you only learn like 10% of what you're really supposed to know. So when you get to a team, it's completely different.
Right. So out of 400 guys, only 50 make it, huh?
Yeah, because you have people that show up that they just go off what they see in movies or, they read on the internet and they're like, this is completely not what I thought it was.
Yeah.
So they'll either quit. You'll have people that get medically injured and then they get dropped. And then you'll have literally people that didn't physically prepare for the event just get dropped by cadre because they can't keep up.
Yeah. I know that. Yeah, it's definitely an elite group. So when you started running, what races were you running at first?
I basically stuck to like obstacle course races.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think the first one that we did it was a horrible choice. So I was like, you know what? Let's go do a Tough Mudder, and we chose like a 12-mile Tough Mudder, like in the hills of West Virginia, and like running with like one leg that has a knee, which is my actual good leg.
Right.
And running mountains is not fun. So I think that took us like 6 or 7 hours to complete.
Jeez.
And so I think I've only did like one other 12-miler. Then basically we stayed around like 6 miles, 5 to 6 mile races.
Right.
Around in Florida. So.
Yeah. Now, were you always into weightlifting and physical fitness?
Yeah. So that started for me on my first deployment back in 2005.
Okay.
And then just kind of carried on, and then especially being in SOF, because there's only a few of you guys on the team, 12 guys. So everybody has to be able to carry their load.
Yeah.
You're carrying more equipment between all of you. So a lot of my stuff I focused on was a lot of body weight exercises, but like Olympic lifting, you know, lifting for speed and strength, just that quick, violent force of action. So
Yeah, yeah. Now, after the accident, you know, being so physically fit, did you have the mindset that you were going to, you know, just keep going with this and keep competing or doing whatever you could physically?
yeah, I think a lot of that mindset came from the training that I went through.
Mm-hmm.
I think that really helped reinforce it. I'll admit that like for the first few days in the hospital, and then like maybe a couple of days each month in the beginning, I had a lot of down days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I lost my job, you know, my friend and everything that I'd worked so hard for. But at the end of the day, you know, I still had my family and everybody,
Yeah.
and they were there for me. So like that really solidified it for me. And then my wife never told me I couldn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's like, "You want to go do this? All right, we'll go do this." You know, like especially with this contest, like I'd be up at like 5 a.m. You know, doing fasted cardio, and then she's in the kitchen like getting breakfast ready like every day.
Yeah.
Like just helping me out. So.
Yeah, I was really impressed with your physique, and I should mention that you took, I think, third place, right, in the open class.
Yeah, I took third in my class, and then I took fifth in the novice class.
In the novice, which is just one class overall, right?
Yeah, I think there was 12 guys in that. So
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. You know that you can compete at disability, but you were in tremendous condition. I mean, you were really ripped. You could tell you were really prepared for it.
I did. My coach made me do a lot of cardio.
Yeah. So I have to ask something. I don't know how the best way to ask it, but I'll ask it anyways. How do you train the disabled part of your body with your upper body? Because I noticed that, you know, your upper body was very well developed and it was very even, you know.
So with that, so I have a twin, and he's a Green Beret too.
Oh,
So,
really? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're a rare breed of gingers. So when I first got injured, we kind of sat down together and tried to rethink of ways to work out. And I had seen some other, you know, I met a guy on Facebook a while ago. I think he actually competed in like men's bodybuilding, like back in the early 2000s, maybe 90s.
Okay.
You know, had the same upper amputation in the arm. And I was like, "Hey, what do you do?" And he's like, "I just flex that side. That's all I do." And I'm like, "That's not going to cut it. That's
Yeah.
not going to cut it." Like, I want to be as symmetrical as possible. So I started looking at it, like, say, for, like, pull-downs, right, on a pull-down machine. Pull-down machine. If I hooked a strap up to my arm and then just had another strap that ran up to the bar, I could pull down. One of the problems that I found was that you had discrepancies in, like, the limb length, you know, or like, as your lever. And then basically where it would bend at, that fulcrum point was different. So what I did was I would just basically strap another strap up on my left arm, about the same length, and then I just basically took the biceps and that, you know, everything except the lat and the back muscles out.
Oh, okay.
Traded it that way. Same thing, you know, for like chest. I'll run a strap over a bar off to the side, and then use free weights and basically create that tension.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
what I do.
Amazing. Yeah, because I was checking out your physique, and I was just impressed that you were in the show at first. But I was like, wow, you were really well developed and very ripped. You know.
Thank you.
How was the diet the first time? Because I know you've done running events, but how was it for bodybuilding or for men's physique?
Like we started out like in the beginning trying to gain a little bit, and like for me, like eating that much in the beginning was pretty painful. But man, by the end to like where we're getting into peak week,
Yeah.
like I just couldn't get enough food. I was like starving.
Right. Your metabolism was so fast.
Oh, I know. And then it wasn't so bad. Like honestly, like I did miss certain foods going, you know, throughout the diet.
Yeah.
You know, we have a 6-year-old boy. You know, he's always snacking on stuff. I'm just like looking at him,
Right.
and but you know, I think the job helped prepare me for that because I've been in some austere environments where like I haven't had food.
Yeah.
So like I'm just like whatever.
Right.
Like I don't even go by taste anymore. So I was pretty just grateful for eating.
You've done tougher things than that, right?
Yeah. So really not drinking water. You know, like when you're starting to dry out.
Yeah.
Especially that last day before. Like that was pretty painful, and like I was just kind of starving then, even though you're pushing in a little bit of carbs.
Right.
They had that pizza backstage.
Oh, yeah,
So,
right.
so like once I went back out for the finals that evening, it was go time.
And how about the cardio? You said you did fasted cardio?
I would do some fasted cardio in the morning, and then I would do some cardio as soon as I finished working out.
Okay.
So I would either just like for me, or some sprints. Like I can't walk super fast just because what I'll do is I'll just crank the incline up to a 10.
Okay.
And then I'll throw it on about like 2.3 miles per hour.
Right.
And like a plate carrier or like a rucksack. And I'll just walk out for like 50 minutes, or I'll go out in the street and do sled drags for like 40 minutes.
Okay, cool. So how was the experience of doing the show? I mean, what was the reaction from the other competitors, and how did you feel about the whole thing?
We went in there, everybody's very quiet, like unless they know each other, nobody really kind of talk to each other. And I'm a very outgoing person. So I just talk, I just went to have fun. Like everybody wants to go to win. Yeah, like winning would be awesome.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to go out and have fun. But everybody was super cool. There was a couple other veterans there. So like we instantly, bonded and clicked and kind of shared some stories.
Oh, cool.
It was pretty cool. Overall, like I was kind of nervous about going out on the stage because I was like, man, there's going to be so many people out there, but you can't even see those people. All you can see is the judges anyway.
Because the lights,
so,
right?
It totally like kind of alleviated any pressure I have. And at that point, I was already there. I was like, it's not like I'm just going to turn around and walk out of this. So it was fun.
Yeah.
Definitely. I think I'm going to do another one here in the future.
Oh,
so.
yeah. Good.
Yeah.
How was the reaction from the crowd? I wasn't there, so I wasn't able to see it. But how did they react, especially at the night show?
Oh, at the night show, like we all went out there and lined up, and we all went out there to do our individual little posing routines. As soon as I went out there, like it just got super loud.
Yeah.
And it was like super. It was exhilarating for me to be like, yeah, like I worked so hard.
Right.
To be here, and it was a good time. I can't even explain it.
Yeah. Well, that's great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you're going to do another one too.
Heck yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. All right, Jared. Well, I just wanted to get a chance to meet you and talk to you a little bit. Every once in a while we see competitors like yourself who are overcoming obstacles and compete on stage. And, I know how tough it is just to do it, at my end. So I can imagine the obstacles you had to overcome. So we really appreciate, your service, obviously, to the country and, your dedication. I'm sure you inspired a ton of people. I saw your picture on Facebook, and I know it got a ton of hits. So you had to feel good about that. And I know we appreciate you showing up and demonstrating the courage that you showed.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me on here too. I really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, definitely. I wanted to get to know you. Like I said, I usually go to the shows every weekend, but I didn't make it to that one. So I'm glad we got a chance to talk.
Yeah. I look forward to meeting more people. It's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you had a good time with it, and I look forward to seeing you again compete.
Heck yeah. Probably next August. I need to bulk up.
All right. All right, buddy. Well, congratulations again on your great showing, and we look forward to seeing you up there again. And like I said, I know you inspired a lot of people, so I'm glad you did it.
Thank you.
All right, Jared. Take care.
Take care.
All right, that's it for the Florida Physique Report for this week. Thanks for joining us. I want to thank Jared Bullock again for joining us for his interview. And next week, we'll be back with reports from the Southeastern USA, which will take place this weekend, October 8th, in Orlando. So I will have the reports from that, and I'll be doing some interviews out there. So we'll see you guys next week on the Florida Physique Report. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll see you next week.